Ja. Holy Jiminy Crickets. Hey Google, set alarm for 4:30 p.m.
4:30 p.m. Set.
Oh,
Hi.
hello.
Hi.
I was worried that might mix things up. When you came back, in the email, I gave you a new link moving forward. And I was sitting there going, oh, which one is she on?
Yeah, I
So,
looked at that email, but it didn't have any link on it.
oh, then that's on me. My apologies. Okay.
It's okay.
So,
Okay.
whenever in doubt, it's my fault. So I'm good with that. I'm never righteous about it. So I'll send this to you
I
right
have it
now.
now though, because I just got
Okay.
it from you, so it's all
Okay.
good. So I'll put it in my
So that's fine.
calendar. I was
So
just
we'll
trying to
use
get
that.
on with the other one. Yeah.
No worries. Let's use that
You
moving.
did. It was probably confusing because you did send me a link that was for when you and I and Lav were meeting, which was the week before. So that
Yeah,
I don't know
no
if that's
worries.
one or
It's
not.
my fault. We'll go with that. Okay. How was your last week?
It was good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been doing some things with Lav. It's been good. We've been feeling like things are getting a little bit more organized, a little bit
Okay.
more into it. Haven't gotten into ClickUp much yet. It's something, I don't know if there's something wrong with my computer or their site or whatever, but every time I go to log into it, it's like frozen out or something. I don't know if you had your other client has said anything about it either, but it's really super weird. I'll show
Wow.
you. Let's see here. This is the ClickUp.
Let me try.
Yeah, maybe it's just my computer because it's like every time I go there, it's almost like it's like faded out, right? Like so I can't move anything, I can't scroll.
Did you already sign in?
I did, and then now I can't get back to the sign-in window. It's like super weird.
I don't know if you try support. I
Does
can
yours
get to
look
the
fine?
sign in window
Okay.
and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
so maybe that's the problem is that maybe I signed in and now it's like I don't know. I'll figure that out. No, not
Yeah,
my
reach
fault.
out to them because it's not.
It's like locked my computer out of the like site or something. I don't know. It's weird.
I hear you. Okay. So what's some of the big points you had in the last week, like where you're at as far as the bigger picture goes?
Yeah, so I had finally some clarity on things that are happening as far as like with the naming. We're keeping the Amplify You name thing. So just more bigger picture things as far as like getting clear so that then we can like move forward with stuff. So there was a lot of things that we were, it was hinging on like change. I'm not setting up this until I have this name figured out. And so yeah, so we figured out some more of the business stuff going forward.
Okay.
So we're keeping the Amplify You name. Amplify You is turning into a network, and
Okay.
our network is going to do the podcast management for all the shows on the network. So that's kind of how we're going to work that part of it.
Okay.
So that was the sticking part for a long time because I couldn't figure out what we were trying to do. So
Amplify You Network. And then you have another name for another company, or are you doing
yeah, I
it all
have
in?
my podcast coach. I have my podcastcoach.com, which is I have a partner in that, which is Evans, and we do.
I still can't believe you got that, honestly.
Yeah,
But I'm like,
got it like a couple of years ago, a long time ago.
still great.
Yeah, and then the Profitable Podcaster. So with the Profitable Podcaster formula, and I've got a new book. I just did the cover of it this week called The Profitable Podcast. And so all those things are good. Those are kind of finally falling in place. So now it's more so our packages are in place, all of our things that we are really that we're hinging on decisions. There was a lot of decision making this last week, so that's good. And then now I can start getting Love to help me with do some more like we have to start importing all of our programs and stuff into Cart. We're going to use Kartra, the membership site area for that. And Evans has got ClickFunnels for our other stuff.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Dubsado
So it
for
sounds
all
like
of our client stuff. So our client organization is getting there. So I think the big stuff that I'm still working on is like the onboarding for the clients and getting that kind of set up.
right. Still is onboarding, but I know I'm bad at this too. So I just want to take a moment to praise you. With all this work that's going on, you have breathing room to get clarity now and to make decisions versus constantly just trying to get through the hour, right?
Yes, yeah,
So
exactly.
the landscape of your business is changing because you've got a moment to go outside and look at the farm.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to carve more and more of that into it because I'm realizing we're not moving forward even week to week. Like with you, like I'm not doing as much in between because I'm just not like, my schedule is booked like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. So getting some more white space in my schedule has been important this week.
Well, and I think the big thing too, though, is I think when we first met, aside from the fact that you're exhausted and tired and like you just couldn't see a way out, right? So now you're like seeing, oh, I can do this. I have evenings and weekends off. I can see spaces moving in my calendar. I can see things clumping together to give me breathing room in between them. Thank you very much. I'd like more. So that's a phenomenal leap, right?
Yeah.
Because before, the first defense that most people give, you don't understand my business. I'm doing all this stuff. It just takes this much grind to keep it up. It just is what it is. Get out of my way. I'm busy and I don't have time, right? So for you to get a hunger for more means we are really on an amazing path, right? So that's
definitely.
perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and I
what?
love also she's great. She's been showing interest in like learning more things, and so like I'm teaching her how to do audiograms, which is helping, helping some with our production stuff, and so that's been great.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So we'll definitely have time for your questions or anything that you want to address at the top of the hour. We can do that. What I'd like to focus on, this is really an important part, and it's super excited to skip this part because you got so much work to do. But what I'd like to do is get a really clear idea of our process with Lav of setting up her job bio and getting a formula for creating, toolkits. Because right now, all of a sudden, if something happened, not only if she was gone in 3 months, would you be starting in less from zero, because now you still aren't calm and clear enough to be over here working. Like you're still kind of between two worlds. It would be almost worse than when you had no help if something happened to her in 3 months. That being said, what we want to do is this time next year, you want to have 3 or 4 people that are as excellent as she is and not be dependent on any of them. And if something happens, you're fine. So the temptation is to be so excited right now as the plane's going down, to be throwing luggage, back to the back of the plane, but it should be going off the plane, right? So you're so excited that you've got room now. Like I can just fly this plane, get this stuff out of here. And this is the part that will bite you in the butt in 3 or 6 months and you just end up in another mess, right? So what I'd like to do is be really, because this is the infrastructure for all your employees. So I'd really like to take a look at that and get a firm grip of what's her job bio, and then how do we create processes and what processes do we have in place. But more than what we're doing now is creating them. Make sense? Okay. So why don't you share your screen or tell me what she's up to or how you navigate through it, how you meet with her, what's her to-do list. Just give me that kind of information.
We have a spreadsheet going on right now for her to-do list because I put it into a Excel spreadsheet until we got into ClickUp, and then we can move it into ClickUp. So let's see, we just bring it here.
Oh,
so okay,
isn't that interesting? Sorry, you shared your screen and it dominated mine. Like you took over my screen for a second. It spread over my writing. I'm like, how do you got control of that?
Let's see.
It's cold here today.
Oh, is it? You guys already getting on that not nice weather?
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming. We may or may not be in a hurricane.
No, geez, that's scary.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's just the fallout from the States, but
yeah, wow. So I have it just in her own folder right now because that's just the easiest way. Until we move it all over. So I got a spreadsheet going on here of all the things that we've got going. So these were the emails she was deleting and unscribing from emails. She set up a coach survey, podcast survey, which she's managing for me right now. We have like about 15 people have already. So she set this up, and now we're managing the people that have responded to it, which is great.
Okay.
What else have I got her going here? Sorry, wrong one. She's got their Facebook group for information. So she's taken this Facebook group and separated all the people by who I need to talk to, the ones with a podcast, the ones without a podcast.
Okay.
She's taken all my bookings and made a spreadsheet of all it was people I've talked to since January, so I can make sure they're followed up with in our system. She set up all of our team information. Each team member has now a folder with all their timesheets and all their things in it. She's organized my Dropbox folder based on PNGs, PDFs, and images and files and all that. She's created a training folder. So we've got a training folder with a spreadsheet that goes with it, so we know what all the training that we have. She's been adding it all to the training inventory sheet. She organized this other Dropbox folder for me. She's been making guest artwork and audiograms. So now I've got her working with one of my other team members. So he'll pass things over to her. She'll create the audiogram for him. And then that's great. And then she's got so she's going to be doing our the Amplify You podcast. So non-client podcasts, she's going to help me work on those.
Okay. Okay.
And then we started, so the last two things we were doing was setting up and organizing a media folder for me and then doing the promo calendar. So I've just got it all listed here just because we were
Sure.
in the middle of doing all that.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere for
Yeah.
sure. Right? Absolutely. So that's somewhere. That's great. It's better than looking at the ceiling, squinting your eyes. Right?
Better than me trying to remember what I told her.
Yeah. Hold on now. Okay. So this is a great place to start because it's easier to edit than create for sure. So what I want to look at here is this is her to-do list, and we want to turn these into toolkits.
Okay.
So we want to look at repetitive things.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's, and you can look at it a couple of different ways. Hold on. I have to just make sure. I had to charge. Okay. Make sure it's not important. Everything I own is plugged in case we lose electricity. I need to be full capacity.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
a good point.
Yeah. All right. So a couple of things here is, let's say the podcast coach survey, for example.
Mhm.
It seems simple, and you've done a phenomenal job here, and she's doing great. This is awesome. But this is what takes it from reactionary. This is step one, and we want to flesh this out so it's a long-term plan for you.
Right.
So let's say we go podcast coach survey. There's a couple of different ways to be looking. We could have a toolkit of how is that filled out? When does she get it? When she gets it, where does she send it? Why does she need it? Where does that go next? Why do we have that? And what does she do with it? And just put a pin in that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Then with the podcast coach survey, you might have her creating other surveys. What matters when she's creating a survey? Who has to approve it? What's too long of a survey? What's too short of a survey? So when we start doing these things, we want to be building out a toolkit so that we have an infrastructure, because at the rate she's going, what we really want is we want her supervising somebody else at the
Right.
speed you're growing. We
Right.
want her to be able to hand off things that become, because she seems very bright and you're very bright. So we want this to move down the food chain
Mhm.
instead of you holding her hostage in a position just because she's your girl Friday. Make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So then so a lot of these things, Facebook group info sheet, how do we build info sheets? Where are they stored? What's the process? All that stuff. So let's work on a couple of these just so you get an idea,
Yeah.
because this is everything. This is considered admin, but this is the infrastructure to your whole team.
Okay.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does it matter which one we work on, or?
No, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. So
And it doesn't have to be fancy. Since you're not in ClickUp, I would just go to a Google Doc sheet and start typing things out. You can move it later. Right now, we just want you to understand the concept. It doesn't have to be all pretty.
Yeah, I think we'll do one for the Dropbox, organizing the Dropbox,
Sure.
and then one for the podcast.
For
cover
sure.
art. Okay, so we'll just go to, just start a new document.
Sure.
Okay. And then should I label it as like a toolkit for now, or?
Yeah, label it
Okay.
toolkit for now so you know what it is. You're going to move it into a platform anyhow, but yes.
Okay.
And name, toolkit and what it is. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. And then on here, you want me to just start listing like the order of what I want her to do, or?
Yeah,
the
just
order of
what it
things
is and all the steps involved in it.
Is it more about like where am I sending her to somewhere to do it, or just what the actual job is where she gets like when she's there?
So a toolkit usually is they are there, you're here, you found yourself here. Now you have to do this start from being there.
Okay.
Yeah. So is this to get rid of folders when we've got clients that are holding you hostage by eating up all your
Yeah,
folders?
no, it's not. This was more of what I was getting her to organize stuff, but I think this is not going to be like a ongoing thing. So that's I'm just thinking.
Yeah. We want repetitive tasks. So there's
Yeah, so
cleanup.
maybe yeah, let's do the Dropbox cleanup. Maybe we're good.
Okay.
I'm not even sure how to do this.
Okay, we can do it together.
I don't, and this is the problem I'm having with everything is that I don't know what to tell them to do. So I'm not really sure what to do. So,
Okay, well, let's talk about that. We're here to help. So what is it? What's your struggle here?
so I want her to go to the podcast clients folder and then look for the clients. But then in that folder, there's like 150 clients in there, which they're not all, I don't want her to go through and delete all their stuff. So
Right.
I think I'm just trying to figure out how to organize it so that it's just the active ones right now, that she can go through and like how do I know that client has taken their stuff out? Like we've given them warnings, they've taken their stuff out, but like instead of the 150 ones in there, it's like maybe 40 of them.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is great. And this is why we do this, because often what happens, I'm all about where you are, move forward. But sometimes when you go to do something like this, you realize, oh, we think this is the problem, but the problem started 6 steps ago, right?
Yeah, this is where I get stuck on everything because then I'm just
Okay,
like,
well, this is where we do the work. So yeah. So what happens is this, you're saying, okay, what we can't do moving forward is we cannot host all of the US and their podcast shows. So right now we've got 200 episodes eating up our 200 clients in there. It's eating up our Dropbox. The problem is if she goes in, how does she know which ones are active and which ones should be deleted?
yeah, and we have an archive one, so it's just I think a matter of the first step would be someone going in and archiving the inactive ones.
Okay. So we can archive the inactive ones. Let's
I
take
think
this a
there's a
step.
couple of different things. There's one is in archive the inactive ones. Two would be the ones that are in pre-launch right now because we're needing all of their files in there still. And then ones that have launched that are on a monthly retainer, those ones would be the ones. So like actually creating like a monthly retainer one.
Right. Okay. So what we have here now is we have two things we have to think about. One is we're going to now, we might have to take a side step, a lateral move for a minute and create a toolkit saying, okay, when is it like we have to, in the toolkit of processing this client, where do we move that file? Because right now there's a pile up. So we have to look at that. We have to be, and then we have to decide in Dropbox, what are the 3 categories we have: active, monthly, long-term, whatever, and then move those clients in there, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So for now, make 3 folders based on what you think you need. You got the 3 folders?
Yep.
Okay. So what I suggest, you can do it any way you want. For now, what we have is as we create the toolkits, we also have to clean up our previous mess, right?
Right. Yeah.
We can't move forward. So
Which
what
is the
I would
problem.
do, the simplest way I think is I would shoot a Loom video with her. I would
Yeah.
just sit there and I would do a Loom.
Yeah.
And do you have a Mac?
Yep.
Okay. A little tool that I quite like, I don't know if you'll like it, but I find this to be helpful, is called Screen Brush.
Okay. Never heard of it.
Okay, so let me just share my screen for a second. Let me share this. Okay. I use this religiously. I think it's $6 or it's free, but at the most it's $6. Okay. So it's up here. It's an app, you download it. Okay, it's over here. Now, it might take you a little bit to get used to. You just F1 and F1 when you want to start it. Like right now, my mouse works. And when I hit F1, it becomes this. I mostly just use the line. You can use the arrow, whatever, that kind of stuff. But mostly I use this when I'm talking. So what I would suggest to you is I would open that document. I would shoot a Loom and I would start the list top to bottom and I would just read it to her. I'd say, Sarah Jones, we're keeping. Steve Miller, he goes into archive. So-and-so, we're keeping. Jane, monthly. Then what I would have her do, so it'll take you like 3 minutes to go through the list, even if it's 150 people, because you know it, you're scrolling through it.
Right.
And it just helps to have this extra pointer. And so you can circle it, yes. So she's not, and then what I would say to her is at the end, I want you to write this list out in the 3 categories I've given you. You may have to replay this a couple of times. Here's a little ninja trick too. This always fades, but if you turn this off, it'll stop fading. It'll stay there till you take it off again. So you can go, here is the monthly, here is the whatever, here's the whatever. I want you to make me a list and show me everything I've done in this Loom, and then I will approve that list and you will move it into the folders and or delete it. So that way you can walk through, it only takes you like 5 minutes. You can show her what she needs to do, but you don't feel scared like you're vulnerable because she's gonna give you the list and then you're gonna okay the list. The other beautiful thing about Dropbox, if there's any mistakes, you got like 30 days to put a file back.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I would do. I find this a Screen Brush thing. It's called, look at this, what it looks like. Hold on. This is the app down here, Screen Brush. And it's installed on your computer.
Okay.
And I just find, and so now when I
You
go
get it
back
from the
here,
App Store?
Yep. And now when I click that, all the numbers go away again, all the whatever. I use this for teaching all day long.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So that's what I would do. That way you're not piled up of, oh, Chris, I got to find time on the weekend to do this and 1,000 other things bump it down the road. So that will clean up your mess. So let me just put that there. So that we're just going to get her to, yeah. And then you approve the list. Okay.
Okay.
So you might want to make it approve the list. So you might, I don't know if you want to make a note to yourself and then we'll continue with the toolkits.
Okay. And Screen Brush. Okay.
Okay. So let's go back to sharing your screen.
Okay. Okay. So now we're going back to Dropbox.
So what's the goal of this?
File deleting monthly.
Okay.
Okay. So in Dropbox, go podcast clear, look for each client in the monthly folder. On the 30th, look and see something like that.
Okay.
So like we're going to give them a warning that from the 25th on their, of the month, they have to
Okay.
have their files out, and then we give them an extra couple of days or something like that.
Okay. And where does that warning come from?
That warning will have to be, I think if I put it into our Slack channel, if I put it into the company channel, that warning will go to all of their channels. Or I could send them, or it could be an email, or it could be.
I would automate it for sure. I wouldn't do Slack
Yeah.
because you're just begging for problems. With Slack, people respond, oh, my kid's sick, oh my, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you're just opening the door for conversation, and that's not where your energy should go, would be my opinion. So what I would do also, anything we can automate. So I would have it automated, at the very least using her to automate, saying, okay, here's another toolkit. Let's to open up a separate page because we want to have what we call a job bio for her. So we're going to have daily, weekly, monthly, and daily we're going to have every day of the week plus weekly. So one of her monthly duties will be to clean out the Dropbox folder.
Okay.
These are slight little things, but it's unbelievable. It's like being an Olympic runner or your shoe comes untied and you go flying.
Yeah. No, it's good because like there's not really anywhere that those things that will otherwise be,
Yeah.
like my weekly newsletter got dropped because I kept forgetting to tell someone to do it. And someone didn't know that he was supposed to do it. So
yeah. You didn't hire mind readers. Okay.
No.
Makes sense.
Delete. Files monthly. This would be like on the 30th.
Okay. Now with the daily, I do have Monday to Friday, and depending on what it is and who I'm working with, they can move those things around in there. But we want to be as specific as we can, because if you say you're going to do it once a month or once a week, you have to say, well, when is that week over? Was I supposed to do that on Mondays and Fridays? Or,
Right.
you know what I mean? You have to nail them down, or else,
Well, yeah,
because
our Monday to Friday is their like Sunday to Thursday, right?
And not even them, forget the time change is, as you know, 1 week bleeds into the next. So,
Right.
oh, don't worry, I have a week to do that. Is that Wednesday to Wednesday, or is that Monday to Friday? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be her job bio, which is awesome, because another thing that happens too is you're all gung-ho and excited about her now, but maybe in 3 weeks from now, you start to think, you know what? She was great to start with, but she's just not keeping up because you are not keeping track of the crap you're throwing on top of her. Right. She's being bombed on, right? So if you keep doing this, it will allow you to say, okay, hold on. This stuff no longer is important because we cleaned up that mess. So I want you to focus on this. This is income generating. Or, you know what? We are ready. I think my assistant needs an assistant.
Right.
So this keeps you clear-headed, because so many people, what we'll say is 3 months in, oh, she started off really good. I think I need somebody new. And they don't realize they're the problem. And they spend more time and energy getting that plane off the ground again, only to end up where they are again in 3 months.
Right. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So this is huge. Okay. So what else do you want her to do?
Having my other couple of people do, they're doing a personality assessment based on my sales coach as recommendation, so that we see who's supposed to be doing the onboarding, talking about the finances with the client, because mine came back that I should not be talking with the clients about that. It should be someone else that's got a better, mindset for that, which is cool.
Perfect.
Okay, so monthly, weekly, daily. All right. I have to go back to her list that I have. Okay, so.
And this takes a little bit of time, but you do have to understand we are building a complete infrastructure for this employee and for a whole team. And we're doing it from zero, like hammer and nail going into a clay field trying to build a house. So it's going to take a little time, but it's huge. It's the infrastructure to the house. Without this, we can't put the drywall up or anything.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then this one. And maybe you can help me with this one. This is one. Oh,
Sure.
uh,
Happy to.
shoot, where'd it go? Crap. Just did. Weird. That's weird. It moved and I deleted it and it's not coming back. Okay.
I hit the arrow,
It's
the
a-
backspace, the other arrow.
Oh, this one? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, do that. Do that a couple times. Go.
Yeah.
Is there a lag on my end or is it not working?
No,
Usually that works.
Continue. Okay, I remember what it said. Promo schedule. Okay,
The
so
arrows, the arrows will serve you much better than the other thing above.
Then the
just so you
undo,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The promo schedule. So
Okay.
I am doing a lot of joint venture affiliate promos, and it's getting lost and it's not getting done.
Hold on.
And
Stop it. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. I didn't want to keep bringing it. I had to stop it. My head. Apologies. Go.
I'm dropping the ball on like getting them set up to promote them, and I need it on a calendar somewhere where like every time we agree to do one, then I can send it to Lav and she could put it on a promo calendar, and then we can just look at the
Okay.
promo calendar and see when the new opportunity comes. Oh no, we are promoting this in this, like we're on this summit
Right.
this week, we have to promote that, or we're speaking here that week, have to promote that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
something like that is what I need, is one of the main things that I'm struggling with at the moment.
Okay. So you have two options. One is you can create a calendar just for promos. And you can do that and add that to your Google Docs and make it a second calendar. I get a little bit nervous about that because I don't like information that you have to go and find. When you're
Right.
in your calendar doing your stuff and then somebody asks you something, you have to leave that and go somewhere else. And that gives you subject to human error.
Right.
So some things, what I do for that is I do it like this. Hold on. Mouse just up. Or is that your mouse? Oh, hold on. I'm looking at your
unsure.
mouse. I know. I saw your mouse, not mine. I'm like, why is it not moving? Okay, sorry. Okay. I'm a little over. So what I do in things like that, I don't have it so much here because I used to travel a lot, and that's kind of been kibosh right now. So what I do is, let's see here. I got May, April, March. Okay, I will put in here, I put it across the top when I have important things. So like here, I was going to, I'm going on a trip. Now I'm staying at this hotel, then I'm staying there for 3 days. Then I'm leaving Vegas. I'm in Vegas for 1 day and then I go to Ontario. So I put that across the top of my calendar under all day event, and I can click on there and there can be any details I need in there.
Okay.
And then it might help you with all your promos being a certain color and be across the top, because then you'll look like, let's say this is an affiliate thing that takes some action. If you have it on a separate calendar, the problem is you might be in a really important thing all day long. And I've got new client sales calls and I have this promo affiliate thing. I'm supposed to be on the computer. So I don't like the idea of them being on separate calendars, but they don't take up time. So you don't want to fill them in your calendar and suck up your day when you got stuff to do.
Or get overwhelmed looking at it.
Yes. So what I do is I put it across the top, because that was really complicated because I had to be 5 places. I was like in 6 cities in like 7 days. And so then I could see here, okay, here's my flight details. I leave here, I leave Vegas early. I'm in Vegas for a day, and boom, boom, boom. But it's all there and it doesn't interfere with the day stuff.
Right.
So that
we were on the same trip in March. I did Vegas, San Diego in March as well. The Kevin Harrington thing.
Yeah. So that's what happens there. So I put it across the top, and that way you can see it and respect it, and it can have information. And that's what I would do.
Okay. That makes sense. And then, like some of these new programs that we've got, like Dubsado, like it has an integrated calendar in it. should I mean, I like Google Calendar. I feel safe with it. Like, I feel like it works. Like, is there any reason I should be moving over to like the ones that's integrated within the system there?
No, I really think you have to be careful. And this is where, and I call it pulling a Chris because I am highly organized. So you can over organize yourself. But the idea is if you have to think to go there, you're setting yourself up to problems.
Okay.
So you only have one amount of time. You may be special, but you're not unique. This is your time. This is it.
Yeah.
And so now if you got two calendars, it's like having a bank account with money in it and with no money. And what's the
Right.
point of that bank account? You didn't get double the money, right?
Right.
So also I would back the truck up just for a minute and say to you, if we're going to do this promo thing, you need to build a toolkit for her and be very specific of it goes across all day, what details go in that part of the calendar, the email, the link. You want to be able to look at here really quickly and get whatever information. Like when I'm in a car, this is how I learned it. When I'm in a car and all of a sudden the guys ask me something, oh, hold on, I don't know. I have to find the email. So there's a certain formula of information that goes in here.
Okay.
You know, my link to the Airbnb, the phone number, the contact, the person's name, you know, whatever. So we have to set up a toolkit where you say, all right, this is what we're going to do, but here's how it's going to look.
Okay. And then my other question on Google Calendars for you is, how do I share it with her? Like, how do I let my team see my calendar? Because what the second part of, I know this is a completely different question, but the second part of it now is that because I'm training them to take over like the initial calls with some clients, I'm having them have to come with me to this meeting and this meeting and this meeting. But how do I know that when I'm organizing? Like when I'm trying to coordinate like with a client, how do I know when they're available, when I'm available? You know what I mean? Like it's two things. That was a twofold question. First question was, how do I share my calendar with Lav so she can come in and help me set that up in here? And then the second question is when I'm coordinating schedules with a team member and a client, but maybe the team member is not there at that moment, is there a way that I can see what their availability is? Like, do I need to add them to a calendar or like build a team calendar?
Okay. So those are two
very different questions.
Yeah, but that's okay. One is, I again want to keep this a safe place for you. So if you start adding all your employees on it, you can, but you can click them on and off so that it'll appear and go away. But I still find that very scary and overwhelming. Okay. So, but the problem is, even if you sent them a calendar link, now what you're trying to do is coordinate between the client and the third person.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not desirable either.
No.
How long is it going to be that you're going to be involved? Like how?
Till the end of the year.
Okay, till the end of the year. Okay.
Yeah. So what I've tentatively done is ask them to like, okay, so they're available like between like 2 and 5 on Thursdays and 3 and 6 on Wednesdays or whatever. And so I know those 2 spots are wide open so that we can book them for client stuff.
Yeah. So you're going down the right path. So I would say we block our times and we say, okay, we're going to do these meetings, whatever, every Tuesdays between 4 and 6, whatever you said, those 2 days. I would then say to the person who works for me, here's what I have. We've got Tuesday between 4 and 6. Then I would say, you're the point person right now, since there's 3 people involved. You call the client and make sure that you can fit, or you email the client and fit, they will be the go-between and say, okay, can you do 3 o'clock? Oh, I can't 4. That's fine. And then they email you and get it on your calendar. So the second and third person can negotiate times and come back and fit it into your calendar.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Now, the other thing I haven't done in a while, you can, I'd have to look this up. Hold on. I haven't done this like in years. There is a way that you can share your calendar with your team so they can have access, but I'm not sure. Can they create it? Yes, they can create it. Okay.
So do we have to like go in through like because you were telling me that your team goes in and like sets up all the information about the person they're interviewing, right? Goes in and puts that stuff in. So do they have access then to your email to go in through that way?
Yes. So this is a one-time thing though. My right-hand person, she has full access to everything. That's just it. So she has email, she has all that stuff. She also goes in and purges my email. So she just goes in as me and puts stuff in the calendar because she has to have access to do all the other things as me, right?
Right. Gotcha.
So that's one option. However, you can add a person, and I just haven't needed to do it in a year or so. When I needed access to my mentor's calendar, I was actually, whatever, long story short, you can set it up so that you share your calendar with somebody and it can be dumped onto her calendar. So she can then over here click Michelle calendar and your page will fill up on her calendar. So she'll see what you're doing or not. So she can go in to do that with settings. And it's not under import share calendars. Share calendar. Share calendar. Oh. Earbud just fell out. Oh. Okay. Here, hold on a sec. How to share my Google. Open calendar in my calendar. Oh, okay. I keyed in how to share calendar. I was going to say with my team and it said with my wife. Okay. Open calendar, under my calendar, point to the calendar you want to share. So, okay, let's go under open calendar and under my calendars, point to the calendar you want to share. Okay. And click more, pick one and just click. No, so pick a Amplify You interview, just so we got one. Not like you have to do these individually.
Let me do anything. Hang on.
Oh, I think it's your
okay. There you
computer.
go. Okay.
Okay, hit
Oh,
more.
no, yeah. Okay.
That's not working. Maybe try there.
Display and share.
Yeah, try that. Import, export.
Access permission, share with specific people.
Yeah, Sarah, try that. Add people. There you go.
Okay, and if I add somebody.
Yeah. Send.
See only free and busy. So she's only going to see that it's busy or free, not the details.
You can share all details.
No.
Make changes and manage sharing. See all events, make changes to events, No, we don't want that. Hold on. Add people, add the person the email you want to share with. Create a team. Make public. Yeah, see all events.
Yeah, that's funny because then on here it says, okay, that's only sharing that one calendar though. Hang on. So now that we've set it up that way, how does it do the whole thing instead of just, you know what I mean? Like instead of.
These are called individual calendars. So you do have to go in and pick them individually, which is fine because she doesn't need the kids and stuff like that. And you don't need to share with her as much as you think you do. Like there's birthdays. So probably half of these will be stuff that's relevant to her. So you will always want these to be separate calendars.
Okay. So each one to share with her which one I need her to see. Yeah.
And once we figure this one out, it will be no big deal. It'll just take 2 seconds to do the others.
Okay. Oops.
See all events. There you go. Yeah.
Now it works. Yeah.
Perfect.
Except for I didn't.
And she can click them to go away. So she only clicks on it when she needs to deal with you. It won't overwhelm her calendar.
Okay. Okay. And then I guess I should make one that's like, if I'm getting, so say I'm getting Aaron and Troy to set up calls with clients, should I create one on here that would be, like say I have this time blocked here, between 2 and 5, I have that available. Like, how do we make it so that they can book something in that time? Like, so say available, like, could we make it like available for client calls?
So in that way, it would come down to your toolkit. So what would happen is you'll see a double booking and then they can just remove that. So you can save it. They can still go in because it doesn't block. It won't protect that time because it's not, Google's not set up like that. Like
Right.
when you have it blocked, it's through a calendar app connected to Google, but then they can go in there and see she's got that time and then they can fill it up and then just remove that when it's done.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least they can just look on my calendar and know
Yeah.
what times.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay. So back to her to-do list, her weekly to-do list. So I should just start going from here, going back over to this spreadsheet that I have for her, and then start bringing all those and any of these things that I want to do on a weekly basis and a daily basis with her over to here.
Yeah. And what we're doing here is we're doing, as you can tell by how our conversation is going, we're doing like 3 things at least that are very important,
Yeah.
right? So we're reorganizing you for future success as we do this. We're setting up a complete infrastructure for like your whole team as we do this, right? And we're looking at where your time is, where you're bleeding out as we do this. So we're leveraging your time and creating infrastructure and cleaning up a mess. So this is going to take a little bit of time, but you're just never going to, like, you just can't, you have to go through this to go to the potential that you want to go. Like, this is everything.
Yeah.
This is like when, when a bigger company pulls somebody in for like a $10 million contract to clean up their mess because they just can't get to the next level because they're just running in circles.
Right.
So we're in a great spot with the fact that you've got hopefully your, what's his name? I just forgot his name. Dex. Hopefully he gets better. But the admin stuff is really huge and foundational to the movement of the company. So we're doing a lot here so that we're not only leveraging your time, that we'll leverage Lav's time so that she can move forward. And because she seems very bright and she can take on more responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
Not about having minions and employees. It's about them, everybody rising
Less
up.
people to manage, the better.
Yeah.
I'm all about that.
Yeah. And she can manage them because, you know what I mean? They'll be more efficient, but also you'll be getting more juice out of her. So, if she can use 10 units of productivity an hour, if we get these systems in place, she could do 13 and supervise somebody to do 2, right? So this is really powerful stuff. And because it's so admin heavy, it looks boring, like we're just playing around, but this is very powerful.
So do you recommend like building these toolkits like on Dropbox on Drive here now instead of like on whatever tool, like what a ClickUp or Basecamp or whatever that we have, so that in case we switch those platforms, the toolkits are on the Drive?
No, you'll make yourself crazy doing that because the reason you're not staying on Google Docs is you'll get lost in your own paperwork really quickly.
Totally.
Your lists will get lost in lists, right? And then any platform worth their salt, you usually can export this information to a different platform because they want it to be integrated. But you'll make yourself crazy duplicating the work and trying to find the work in Google Docs.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. No problem. You're doing awesome.
Thank you. Again, I just wish I had more time to put into this, right? Like I just need to start blocking out more time.
Listen, I got through all my teen years. I did not do drugs. I'm not judging people who did. I just made a choice. It wasn't for me. I had a whole bunch of reasons why. But I looked at John one day and I said, I'm telling you, like, if somebody came up at an event and said, look, try a little teeny bit of cocaine and you can go without sleep for a few days. I was like, oh, I don't know. like, what are the pros and cons again? Like it's part of the addiction, right? It really is an addiction. Your hunger to get there and to succeed. So it's just part of the beast. And you just start looking at things like, can I go without sleep? You can't. What is it I could take to help me? You can't. But is as fast as this isn't going, you think you want to go faster, which is one of the symptoms. I did a video on that this morning. Like it's never going fast enough, right? But
I wanted to slow down so that I can actually have time to like, do everything.
but you are moving leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And you're what you're not doing is we move forward. You're not trying something and then having to wait 6 weeks for it to find out it's a hot mess and a failure and then try something else. So you're not being, what we're doing
Right.
is we're moving forward in a consistent way with lots of success. And I'm seeing all kinds of landmines on the road. So I say, okay, no, go left, go right. Otherwise, you know, you'd be exhausted and just creating a bigger mess. So it doesn't
Right.
feel like it's going fast enough, but you have no idea the trenches and the broken bridges that you've
Right.
avoided.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
No
So
problem.
what time next week are we meeting?
Okay. So your Thursdays are no good for you, right?
That's right. Thursdays are not good, but
Wednesdays we can do?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So Wednesdays have got to be, I could do 8 now on Wednesdays, but not.
Okay, perfect. Let's do that then.
Okay.
Okay. So
Just had to get my kids organized with the school bus. So now that I can take the school
Listen.
bus, I can do 8 o'clock. We're good.
I've been telling anyone that would listen to me, I'm like, and every day for a week they went for an hour. I'm like, what the hell? What? That's not worth getting them fighting with them to brush their teeth. Like for an
not.
hour?
It was not. It was ridiculous.
Yes, getting them dressed for a friggin' hour.
Yeah.
Here, go in your pajamas.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we are good. You have the link, and we are good for the when. Is next week the 30th? It is.
Yes. We're
Dear
going to be doing,
God.
are we going to be doing Wednesdays going forward?
We will try to keep you
Okay.
Wednesdays
I was
moving
just
forward.
wondering else, then I can book it in. All
Yeah,
so
let's do
nothing
that.
gets
I think I can manage that.
Okay, just so I don't have anything.
Yep.
else
So
pop
let's
in
keep you Wednesdays, 8 a.m. moving forward.
there. Okay,
Perfect. Okay, you're in good
Okay.
shape.
awesome.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Okay, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.